Episode 1 of the Uzumaki anime just premiered, and it's based on the horror anime by Junji Ito.
I'm glad they're releasing one episode at a time, as this gives us time to digest it.
Yeah, I haven't read the manga, but I'm familiar with Junji Ito, and there's a considerable fandom around his work. The series is about a group of small-town citizens who encounter a curse involving spirals. One female teenager, Kiri, and her boyfriend, Shuichi, are featured in this first episode, and we see some bizarre things happen. There's one of Kiri's classmates, Azami, who has this unique scar on her forehead, and it's later revealed that she also has come under the power of the spiral curse.
Honestly, I don't know what's really happening overall, like big story-wise in this series, but I want to keep watching to figure it out.
The series does a good job with creating suspense, so I can see how it hooked you. It moves fast in terms of the pacing, going from one scene to the next, so it feels like we're covering a lot of ground plot-wise. I'd be interested to hear how manga readers are responding to this first episode, and to see if the anime is jumping through a lot of plot points super fast. And talking about the animation, I wonder if there's some rotoscoping, or at least some heavy use of live-action reference being used for the character animation. I notice we see the human characters making small movements that normally we wouldn't see in anime, but it gives a sensibility that is close to live action. Little movements like in the heads and hands for the characters.
I think those little details you mentioned actually add to the eerie sense of the show. Like, we're seeing 2D drawings that resemble the manga, but they're moving in a way that is both animated and also close to live action.
We'll have to wait and see more of the episodes to figure out what is going on story-wise, without getting into the manga or looking for spoilers. But I can say that this first episode draws you in as a viewer, and the slow reveal of the appearance of the spirals is well done. We don't know what the origin is so far, and that makes our minds wonder what could be happening. This heightens the horror and anxiety that comes from watching this.
I mean, I'm already anxious just thinking about the spirals and how they just seem to appear out of nowhere. I was freaking out when Azami had that huge spiral consuming her.
I remember that. It's a horrific image that is a visual climax for the episode. I can see how the filmmakers and animators built up to that scene by having this slowly increasing dramatic tension in earlier scenes. It made me also wonder about why we are so fascinated with horror or dark things, or maybe it's just the supernatural in general.
Isn't that why horror movies are popular? Because they're a form of cathartic release, like we can get an emotional high from experiencing it in a short amount of time, and also be entertained.
That, yes, but this also reminds me of when we talked about Dandadan First Encounter. The supernatural, the things that exist beyond what we can see with our own eyes and other senses, make us wonder about our own place in the world. And it suggests that we also have this inherent desire to want to believe in something, likely something beyond ourselves. I don't think most people usually want to dwell on dark things that threaten their lives, but contemplating it in a world that is supernatural is what draws us in.
Maybe it's because there are some things in life that seem to not be explained well by our logic or man-made theories. The paranormal, aliens, magic, all those things out there that, are also in a lot of our stories.
Yeah, and I think this Uzumaki anime strikes a nerve for us as an audience. There's a part of our soul that feels like there are dark, evil things out there that we don't understand. And I think how we go about understanding that also reveals if we think anything can be done about it. For example, if there is supernatural evil that exists, is there supernatural good? And if that's the case, what is this supernatural good, and can it defeat the supernatural evil?
I see what you mean. Maybe that's why horror always finds an audience throughout different generations.
Just like in this first episode of Uzumaki, we can ask ourselves, what would we do if we saw something supernatural like that spiral in our world? Do we run away in fear, or are we going to do something about it?
Oh, that's compelling. I don't know what I'd do, to be honest. I think my brain would shut off at first, not knowing what I was seeing. And then I need you to shake me to snap me back to reality.
I'll keep that in mind the next time we come across something supernaturally evil.
Hopefully it doesn't eat us first.